Hello. There is a lot of controversy and a lot of political mudslinging that is happening regarding the deal for the Rafale fighter jets that the Modi government has now signed and agreed with the French government. The first thing to understand is that this is a government-to-government deal. And in government-to-government deals, there is no role for middlemen. There is no role for any private Indian defense manufacturer being favored, because in a G2G deal or what is an FMS deal, and the UPA government should know that only too well, because in their tenure they engaged with America extensively in FMS G2G deals, making America India's defense supplier #1 in the years that the UPA was there. So what is this deal about? Firstly, from 2001, when the Air Force projected a requirement that it needed a lot of fighter aircrafts, 126 to be precise, to meet its operational requirements, the whole process of identifying aircraft had begun. This is called the RFI and the RFP process. All that ended in 2007, when the Air Force had shortlisted amongst those contestants who were keen to get a big slice of the Indian aircraft deal. It shortlisted it down to 2 aircrafts. That was the Eurofighter, which was #2, and it was the Rafale of the French variant made by Dassault. Now, what did the Air Force want? The Air Force wanted a fighter aircraft that would be multi-medium role combat aircraft, which would have capability to operate from India's high-altitude mountainous air bases to the desert air bases and to other terrains which make up the Indian operational theater. Now, the Rafale is not just a multi-role, it is an omni-role aircraft which can take on more roles than perhaps even the IAF wanted it to. All aircraft variants that are bought by India traditionally, there is at least a squadron, that is 18 aircrafts that are bought completely ready to go to battle, and the rest are brought in various forms like SKD and CKD variants and eventually manufactured here like the Sukhoi. However, this particular fighter aircraft variant was desperately required to give India the much needed punch on 2 fronts, and therefore 2 squadrons worth, that is 36, were bought. Now, the Congress-led UPA opposition is alleging that they had done a deal which was much cheaper. Well, the figures that are available to us through various documents, including this confidential and secret document that I've got hold of from the MOD, it says very clearly that the pricing initially was agreed by the UPA, but the deal was never done. It was only being talked about, was 737 crore per aircraft. The deal that was finally clinched by the NDA was for a 670 crore per aircraft deal, therefore giving a total saving of much more than what the NDA was able to bring to bear per aircraft. That's almost 67 crores. And furthermore, when you add all the weapons, the missiles, the scalp, the Meteor, the head-mounted sighting system, and the multi-role capabilities, then the UPA was talking to the French for a deal of 2,000 crores, but the NDA government has got this aircraft per aircraft at about 1,600 crores per aircraft, which is therefore 400 crores cheaper than per aircraft that the UPA was negotiating. So, and the last point to understand is that this aircraft, the first 36 that will come in, will be very desperately needed capability that the Air Force needs to have force multipliers in place to respond to any threat to Indian skies that may come tomorrow or may come much later.